The movie begins with Joel Dawson recounting the catastrophic events that befell Earth. 7 years prior, a meteor named Agatha 16 was discovered to be on a collision course with the planet, causing widespread panic and fear among the global population. Scientists and governments around the world collaborated in a desperate bid to avert disaster, launching a barrage of missiles designed to obliterate the massive rock. The mission was a success, and the Earth was spared from the immediate impact. However, the resulting fallout from the destroyed meteor released a rain of chemical compounds that descended upon the planet. These compounds had unforeseen and catastrophic consequences. Ordinary creatures such as insects, crabs, and slugs were exposed to these chemicals, undergoing grotesque mutations that transformed them into colossal, monstrous beasts. In less than a year, these mutated entities had wreaked havoc on the human population, decimating 95% of humanity in their relentless, predatory rampage. Cities fell, and the remnants of civilization crumbled under the onslaught of these terrifying creatures. 7 years later, Joel resides in one of the many bunkers known as colonies, hidden deep underground to avoid the mutated creatures on the surface. His colony family has taken care of him since the tragic death of his parents, providing him with a sense of belonging and support. Despite his inability to fight and his tendency to freeze in dangerous situations, Joel has found a way to contribute meaningfully by cooking for everyone in his colony. This role gives him a sense of purpose and helps to maintain some semblance of normalcy amidst the chaos. Unlike the other survivors, who have managed to forge new relationships and adapt to their harsh reality, Joel remains single. He is haunted by memories of his girlfriend, Amy, from whom he was separated during the chaotic evacuation when the monstrous threat became too overwhelming to manage. One day, he successfully reconnects with Amy via radio. Amy is living with another group of survivors at Jenner Beach, a mere 85 miles from Joel's location. Their conversation is abruptly cut short when an ant-like monster breaches the bunker. Determined to reunite with Amy, Joel declares his intention to embark on a perilous journey to find her. His team cautions him, revealing that Amy's colony is located 85 miles away at Jenner Beach, a distance fraught with danger. Despite their warnings and the slim chance of survival, Joel is resolute. Before his departure, his team equips him with a map and a crossbow, emphasizing that his best chance of survival is to avoid confrontation and flee from threats. As Joel steps outside the safety of his colony for the first time in 7 years, he is awestruck by the sight of the surface world. He checks his map and starts heading west. While passing through a deserted village, Joel encounters a toad. Attempting to flee, Joel is quickly overpowered and attacked. Just as the toad begins pulling Joel toward it, a dog appears out of nowhere and bites the toad, causing it to release Joel. The dog leads Joel to the safety of an old vehicle. Joel discovers the dog's name is Boy and expresses his gratitude for the rescue. Exhausted, Joel falls asleep inside the vehicle as night falls. The following morning, Joel got up to continue his journey, and Boy went back to the vehicle and brought back his previous owner's clothes. Joel placed in his backpack, and together they continued their trek. Along the way, Joel picks some berries to eat, but Boy warns him that they are poisonous, prompting Joel to discard them. Later, Joel accidentally falls into a pit, a nest of worm-like creatures known as sand gobblers. Surrounded and panicking, Joel is rescued by a man who throws a rope to pull him out. He then blows up the pit. The man introduces himself as Clyde, accompanied by his adopted daughter, Minnow. Clyde explains that they are heading north to the snowy mountains, where fewer monsters roam due to the cold climate. Clyde and Minnow take Joel under their wing, imparting crucial survival skills and knowledge about the monsters that now inhabit their world. They teach him to identify different species, such as the sand gobblers, which are the worm-like creatures he encountered. They also help him sharpen his aim with his crossbow. Along the way, they come across a massive snail monster, which they refer to as a boulder snail. Clyde instructs Joel to remove his shirt, using his scent to lure other monsters away. He and Minnow explain that while some monsters can be friendly, their eyes usually reveal their intentions. The group remains vigilant, hardly stopping to rest, to ensure they reach food supplies before any monsters can. That night, Joel sketches the monsters he has encountered, documenting their weaknesses as part of his hobby, believing this information could help humanity survive. During their travels, Joel shares his plan to find Amy. Clyde and Minnow encourage him to pursue his goal and not to settle, even in these dire times. When they reach the point where they must part ways, Joel is sad to leave his new friends. Minnow, particularly attached to Joel, is upset, but he gifts her a tube of lipstick as a memento, which she cherishes. Clyde offers Joel some final words of encouragement, bolstering his resolve. As Joel traverses a swamp, Boy senses danger and hides under a structure. Joel tries to coax Boy out, but a giant centipede monster suddenly appears and attacks Joel with its tail, then begins to wrap itself around Boy. Paralyzed with fear, Joel recalls the traumatic memory of failing to save his parents, who were crushed by a giant monster while he was frozen in terror. Determined not to let history repeat itself, Joel grabs his crossbow and kills the centipede, saving Boy. That night, as rain pours down, Joel seeks refuge in an abandoned motel where he encounters a robot named Mavis, who has been stranded there for years due to damaged legs. Mavis informs Joel that she has only 50 minutes of power left. Curious about Joel's journey, she learns about his quest to find his girlfriend and reveals that he is just 9.3 miles away from her colony. Mavis then makes a final request for Joel to take her outside, as she hasn't experienced the outdoors in years. Mavis, with her remaining power, asks Joel for his full name and shows him photos of his parents, which deeply moves him. Overwhelmed with emotion, Joel hugs her. Soon after, Mavis runs out of power. Joel thanks her for everything and buries her the next day, before resuming his journey. Later, Joel and Boy are attacked by a queen sand gobbler. As they flee, they find refuge inside a hollow tree trunk. Boy, spotting his old owner's cloth, runs to retrieve it, inadvertently revealing their location to the queen. Joel, in a desperate move, uses the hand grenade given to him by Clyde, throwing it at the queen sand gobbler and causing it to explode. Joel is swept into a river and, upon emerging, discovers poisonous leeches attached to his body. After removing the leeches, he angrily scolds Boy, blaming him for their predicament, which causes Boy to run away. Shortly after, Joel begins to hallucinate from the leech poison and collapses, seeing a figure approaching him before losing consciousness. When Joel wakes, he finds himself in Amy's colony. Amy explains that she found him and brought him back. She also tells him that they are preparing to leave with an Australian yacht captain who came to rescue them. Joel discovers that everyone in Amy's colony is elderly and that she has been caring for them. Joel meets the yacht crew, including Dana, Rocco, and the captain, Brooks Wilkinson, who claims to be an Australian Navy officer. Brooks shows Joel the yacht, which appears old and worn. He invites Joel to a party that evening. During their conversation, Amy thanks Joel for traveling 85 miles to find her, but admits she no longer has romantic feelings for him, having already lost someone special. Heartbroken, Joel feels foolish. Amy apologizes and offers him a place with them, but Joel decides he wants to return to his colony. When he contacts them, they express happiness at his survival, but inform him that their bunker has been repeatedly breached by monsters, worrying Joel. Brooks sends Joel some berries and beer. Recognizing the berries as poisonous, Joel becomes suspicious of Brooks and rushes to warn the others. As he steps outside, he sees that the colony members have been poisoned. Joel warns Amy that Brooks and his crew are not to be trusted. Suddenly, Dana knocks Joel unconscious. When he regains consciousness, he finds that they have all been tied up. Brooks orders Dana to destroy their radio tower. Despite Amy's pleas, Dana shoots it with a cannon. Brooks reveals their true intentions, explaining that they are thieves who steal food and fuel from helpless colonies. He then summons a massive crab monster using a device. Chaos ensues as everyone tries to escape. Amy manages to free herself and then Joel. She attacks Rocco with a metal frame as he attempts to shoot her, while Joel uses a metallic rod to flip the crab monster onto its back. Brooks, however, uses his device again to get the crab monster back on its feet. During the melee, Amy fights Dana, but is attacked by Brooks and knocked unconscious. Brooks and his crew prepare to leave with their stolen supplies on a boat. Unexpectedly, Boy returns. Joel is overjoyed to see him and instructs Boy to help Amy. Boy wakes her by licking her face, and she hands Joel a cannon. As the crab monster grabs Joel, he prepares to shoot, but, looking into its eyes, realizes it does not intend to harm them. Joel notices that the crab monster is being controlled by Brooks through a chain connected to his equipment. He shoots the chain, destroying it and setting the crab monster free. Without Brooks's control, the crab monster drops Joel and charges toward Brooks and his yacht, seeking revenge. The monstrous creature devours Brooks and his crew members, then demolishes the yacht, sinking it entirely. Before setting out to rescue his colony, Joel turns to Amy and informs her that he will be heading north to the snow mountains, where it's safer and fewer monsters roam due to the cold climate. He hands her his survival book, a detailed compilation of the monsters he has encountered and their weaknesses. Joel assures Amy that he can create another copy since he has all the information memorized. Amy gives Joel a kiss and promises to find him someday, sealing her vow with heartfelt emotion. Joel embarks on his journey back, traversing through the lands he once crossed. After facing numerous threats and overcoming obstacles, he finally reaches his colony. The moment he steps inside, he is met with overwhelming joy. The survivors, his makeshift family, greet him with hugs and tears of relief, overjoyed to see him return safely. Realizing the importance of sharing his newfound knowledge, Joel sends a global message to all the colonies. He recounts his harrowing experiences and the lessons he learned while surviving on the surface. Joel's message is one of hope and resilience. He tells the world that if he could survive the dangers above ground, so could they. His words inspire a wave of courage among the hidden colonies. Joel's colony decides to leave their underground bunker. They prepare to journey north to the snow mountains, following Joel's lead. His message sparks a global movement as colonies around the world begin to emerge from their shelters, ready to reclaim the surface and rebuild their world. The movie concludes with Joel taking on a leadership role, guiding the group through treacherous terrains to reach the north.